So I was talking to this friend of mine, and she's working with someone who is taking a lot of medication and has a lot of health issues. He has high blood pressure, diabetes, he's got, oh gosh, so much more, and he's taking a lot of medication. And my friend was making a comment about, like, oh my gosh, that's like he's eating medication like he's eating nuts, that's just a lot of pills. And I was saying, well, usually when people are sick, it's because they're under a lot of pressure and they're under a lot of stress, and that's why they have all these conditions. It's high stress. Which she then replied to that with, well, I guess it just shows that just because you're rich, it doesn't mean that you're gonna be happy or you're gonna enjoy life. To which I said, well, it's interesting that you say that, because when you're rich, you have stress, but when you have no money, you also have stress. So it got me thinking, like, when you have money, you're stressed. When you don't have money, you're stressed. When you have family, you get stressed. When you don't have family, you get stressed. When you have friends, you're stressed. When you don't have friends, you're stressed. When you don't have a partner, you're lonely and sad. But when you have a partner, you can also just be as lonely and even lonelier and more sad. So think about those situations, because like I've found myself in both situations where I have what we think as humans to be security, and I've been miserable. And I've also had moments of gratitude, and I've also been in the opposite, where I had no idea how I was going to make money. I had no security, and I felt peaceful, but I also felt stressed. I felt stressed and peaceful regardless of whatever the situation was, whether I had the money or not, whether I had the family or not, whether I felt ostracized or whether I felt belonging. Both states contain suffering, and both states contain joy. So the thing is, it's not about avoiding suffering. It's not about avoiding pain. Everything consists of both states. And so that got me thinking, because like we think that one state is better than the other, but actually both states are equal. And the common denominator is that you are in both of the states. I am in both of those states. So it doesn't matter what we have or what we don't have. It's actually all about our state of being. Like, I have been in situations where I didn't know where the money was going to come from. I didn't know how I was going to make money. But I was the most peaceful versus when I had like so much money in my bank account. So I learned. And then there was also times when I had no friends, and I felt lonely, and I also felt peaceful. And then there were times when I had friends and I felt like I didn't belong, and I also felt like, shit, what if I lose these friendships? So it's never about the circumstance. Like, this is my greatest learning in life, is that it's not ever about the circumstance. It's about you, it's about me, it's about how we are, it's about what's going on here. It's like there's a saying, if you put a potato in boiling water versus if you put like an egg in boiling water, the potato becomes soft and mushy, but the egg becomes firm. So it's not about the circumstance, it's about you. So I just thought I wanted to film this because I think that's a really interesting conversation.